The council watched Earth burn on screens for 12 perfect hours. They believed they had won, but the broadcast contained a flaw no one yet saw. Operation Cinder's final salvo struck the surface. Oceans vaporized. Continents glowed white-hot and flowed like wax.
It is done. After decades of sanctions, the vermin are finally ash.
A clean victory. The galaxy is safer for it.
On the main view screen, the dying planet's reflected light flickered in a pattern that didn't match any natural albedo curve. Speaker Robert allowed himself a thin smile. He would address the galaxy within the hour. The tactical display blinked to standby. The council chamber erupted in applause.
A historic day. We should broadcast the celebrations live.
The speaker's address will suffice.
Robert rose from the curved console. Somewhere in the fleet's telemetry logs, an anomaly quietly flagged itself and was ignored. The broadcast channel opened. Robert stood before the galaxy, gold-trimmed robes catching the light.
Today, the human threat is extinguished. Operation Cinder has succeeded.
Behind him, the view screen replayed the final bombardment, a planet reduced to glass.
For decades, they defied the Council. Now their world is cinder.
In the streets of 100 council worlds, crowds erupted in jubilation.
Listen to them roar. The speaker's words are fire.
The galaxy needed this show of strength.
Robert raised a hand in salute. The applause was deafening, yet there was a frenetic edge to it. He descended from the podium, the weight of victory on his shoulders. That night, alone in his quarters, Robert stared at the blank view screen. Something felt unfinished, though he could not name it. Across the capital, the revelry lasted deep into the night cycle. Fireworks split the sky above 100 spires. In his private office, Robert sat alone. The tactical report had arrived on his terminal.
Perfect biosignatures. Every scan matched pre-war archives exactly. Not a single deviation.
He scrolled further, the word perfect appearing twice more in the analysis.
Too perfect. Ecosystems never remain that static over decades of sanctions and orbital tension.
He closed the report with a snap, forcing a slow breath. The victory was too recent to question. He stood and walked to the viewport, telling himself it was exhaustion, the price of command.
I will review it again tomorrow, when the celebrations are over.
But even as he darkened the screen, the word lingered in his mind like an uninvited guest, and for the first time since the bombardment began, Robert felt a cold thread of doubt winding through his chest. 12 hours after the victory address, Robert's office door slid open without the usual chime.
Speaker, forgive the interruption. You need to see this immediately.
What is it, Thalos? The celebrations are still ongoing.
Without a word, Thalos activated a holographic map. Trade routes still pulsed with human freighters.
The human colonies are still trading at pre-war volume. Those freighters are departing from coordinates we can't identify.
That's impossible. We just glassed their homeworld.
I know, yet the traffic traces are real. Our scans of the target showed a living world, but something is wrong.
Robert's doubt from the night before surged into a cold, hard certainty.
Pull every sensor log from the fleet. Find out what we actually destroyed. I want answers, Thalos, now.
Thalos nodded curtly and left. The victory address suddenly felt like a lifetime ago. In the Intelligence Directorate, Thalos assembled his best analysts. The raw sensor data from the fleet was a mountain of noise.
Filter for mass distribution. I want a gravimetric map of the target before impact.
Hours passed. An analyst flagged a density anomaly. The planet's core seemed absent. The mass was all surface.
A hollow shell? That can't be natural.
A holographic cross-section rendered the impossible. A skeletal frame beneath the crust, vast empty cavities.
This wasn't a planet. It was a construct. Run the biosignature data again. If the biosphere was artificial, there will be signature gaps.
Within minutes, the biosignatures confirmed it. The flora and fauna were patterned repetitions, a fraction of true biodiversity.
They built a decoy, a perfect hollow duplicate of their world.
Thalos opened a secure channel to Robert. The word decoy was already on his lips.
Speaker, the target was a hollow construct. We bombarded a decoy.
A decoy? How long have they been planning this?
Thalos sent the initial findings. The historical data pointed to decades of preparation.
Our analysts cross-referenced orbital scans from 40 years ago. The biosignatures were identical then, too identical.
They found records of massive mining operations on the system's moons, starting 4 decades past.
They stripped entire moons for material, all funneled into a single project at the original coordinates.
The construction footage was damning. A skeletal sphere slowly plated with continents.
40 years. We watched them for 40 years and saw nothing.
The decoy was not a desperate last move. It was a masterpiece of foresight.
They relocated their real world. The Earth we knew is gone, Speaker. We have no target.
The search for the real Earth began immediately. Every deep space listening post was retasked.
Nothing. The original coordinates are empty, not just the planet. The entire star is missing.
At the core of Earth's cradle, there was only void, a missing sun, and a phantom world.
Gravitational surveys show a lingering resonance, a body moved over decades by a controlled low-thrust field.
They didn't destroy their sun. They moved it, gently over a generation, to another arm of the galaxy.
That's not possible. No one can relocate a star without leaving a scar on space-time.
Clearly, they can. And they did it right under our surveillance.
We didn't just fail to destroy them. We proved they are more powerful than we ever imagined.
The council chamber fell silent. The tactical maps were useless. Their enemy was a ghost, and they had just broadcast their own war crime against an empty shell. The council was trapped in its own narrative. Within hours, speculation leaked from the intelligence directorate. The human freighters still flew, and the questions began. A post on the council's public feed read, "If Earth is glass, why do human ships still run supply lines?" In the council chamber, the first reports of public dissent arrived like a cold draft.
We must shut down these rumors before they spread further.
You cannot silence an entire population. The more we push, the louder it becomes.
Issue a statement. Reaffirm the victory. Control the narrative.
But the broadcast had been too public. Footage of the celebration next to human trade logs spread across every world.
Speaker, protests are breaking out on 3 worlds. The spin is failing.
The council's grip on the narrative loosened with every passing hour. For the first time, the council was not just hiding a secret, it was losing control of the story. On the 3rd day after the bombardment, a new transmission cut through the council's propaganda. It came from human space.
Citizens of the galaxy, you have been shown a lie. The Earth you saw destroyed was not our home.
Behind her, sensor footage played of a hollow, lifeless construct, the detonation frozen in its empty shell.
What your fleet attacked was a decoy, a hollow shell built over 40 years. The Council broadcast their attack against an empty husk. They committed a war crime against nothing.
In the council chamber, the main view screen flickered to the same broadcast. Robert's face lost all color.
They've gone public. The whole galaxy is watching.
This is a catastrophe. We cannot spin this.
They used our own broadcast to humiliate us.
The council sat frozen. The truth was out, and there was no taking it back. Ambassador Vance's broadcast continued, now showing a holographic timeline of the decoy's construction.
We spent 40 years building it in plain sight, moving mountains of ore from our outer moons. And while you watched the decoy, we moved our sun. A generation-long journey to a new home.
In the council chamber, each revelation struck Robert's face like a physical blow. The timeline was a testament to his blindness. The timeline ended. Vance's expression softened into something that looked almost like pity.
We regret that the Council chose war, but humanity did not survive this long by waiting to be destroyed.
The screen went dark. The council chamber erupted into accusations.
This is a disaster. They made fools of us all, and we broadcast it ourselves.
The humans have won without firing a shot. Our own arrogance is our undoing.
Robert said nothing. His victory address replayed in his mind, now a monument to his own hubris. Kale rounded on Orin, her earlier triumph curdling into fury. The chamber echoed with recriminations.
Your intelligence division failed, Orin. 40 years, and we saw nothing.
You demanded the broadcast, Kale. You made our humiliation a galaxy-wide spectacle.
I followed the speaker's orders. This council approved the operation.
We all trusted the biosignature scans. No one expected a hollow world.
Robert raised a hand, but his voice went unheeded. The argument swallowed the room.
We need someone to blame. The public will demand heads.
Robert's fist slammed the console. The chamber silenced for a single breath.
Enough. Turning on each other is exactly what they want. We must present a united front.
But the silence was brittle. The council's unity had shattered, and no command could restore it.
Speaker, the first communique is from the Trellis Dominion. They are withdrawing their support.
2 more communiques followed within the hour, each a founding species stepping away.
The protests have tripled. They are replaying your victory speech as a joke.
Without the founding species, the Council holds no legitimacy. We are finished.
Robert sat heavily, the weight of the universe pressing down. The damage was not just political, it was existential.
I led them into this. The broadcast was my idea. The victory speech my words.
He looked up at the view screen, now showing the charred decoy. It had become the symbol of everything he was.
They turned our greatest moment into our greatest shame, and we did it to ourselves.
For the first time, Robert understood that no statement, no apology, could undo what they had done to themselves. The council had not just lost a war, it had lost its reason to exist. Desperate, Robert returned to the podium. He would address the galaxy once more, hoping to salvage a shred of dignity.
The Council acted in defense of galactic order. Humanity's deception only proves their threat. Their 40-year lie proves their cunning. We cannot be blamed for falling to such elaborate treachery.
In the chamber, Kale stared at her hands. Oren closed his eyes. The words fell into a void.
Humanity does not seek revenge. We forgive the Council. We are simply no longer here.
The message spread across the galaxy, a stark contrast to the Council's defensiveness. Robert's speech halted mid-sentence as the forgiveness broadcast lit the chamber's secondary screen.
They don't even need to attack. They've made us the villains with a single sentence.
The Council sat in silence. No defense could answer forgiveness. Robert's defense died in his throat. The Council had become a monument to its own arrogance, and the galaxy had already moved on.
Speaker, the founding species have issued an ultimatum. They demand your resignation.
Robert, you must step down. It is the only way to hold the council together.
I refuse. My resignation would be an admission of guilt. We acted on the best intelligence.
The intelligence was flawed, and your speech made us a laughingstock. Only your removal can salvage any dignity.
I have analyzed the political landscape. Without the founding species, the Council collapses in 3 days. If you step down, the founding species will remain. If not, they leave, and the Council dies with your legacy.
The council chamber felt smaller. Robert looked from face to face and saw only the mirror of his failure.
They are right. Every road leads to my resignation, but to say it aloud is to admit I was the architect of this disaster.
He turned his back on them, staring at the dark view screen that had once shown his greatest triumph. Alone in the silence, Robert felt the corridor of history closing around him. He had hours to decide everything. When Robert finally turned from the view screen, Kale and Oren stood waiting. Their patience had run dry.
You want me to step aside, to become the scapegoat for a failure we all share.
Your arrogance gave the humans their victory, Robert. We merely followed your lead.
You are the face of this catastrophe. Only your resignation can give us a chance to rebuild.
Robert's eyes blazed. He opened his mouth, but for a moment, no words came.
I built this council. Everything I did was to preserve our order.
And you preserved it so well that it now lies in ashes. Step down or watch us all burn.
Robert stormed from the chamber, his robes snapping behind him. The others did not follow. In the privacy of his office, Robert sank into his chair. The silence was different now.
They are right. I have no path left but to resign.
He opened a blank document on his terminal. The cursor blinked, waiting. For a long time, he could not type. Then his fingers began to move, and the confession took shape.
I built this council on the belief that order must be imposed. Today I learned that order is a lie we told ourselves.
He wrote of sanctions, of decades of warnings ignored, of a human threat that had to be answered, but the words rang hollow even to him.
We were so certain. 40 years of intelligence gathering, and we saw only what we wanted to see.
He paused, remembering the moment he gave the final authorization. The chamber had been warm with triumph. Now that warmth was ash.
I authored this catastrophe. The empty shell is my monument.
The finished speech lay before him, an attempt to salvage meaning from a disaster he had crafted with his own hands. He saved the file and stood. The chamber was waiting, the galaxy tuned to the frequency that had once carried his glory. Robert straightened his ceremonial robes, the gold trim now feeling like chains, and walked toward the door. He stepped into the corridor. The usual hum of activity was absent. Staff merely watched him pass. The faces were a blur. Some averted their gaze. Others stared with hollow eyes. Each look was a verdict.
They all know. Every last one knows I am walking to my own execution.
The grand hallway, once a promenade of triumphs, now felt like a tunnel to the gallows at the chamber's entrance. Cale and Orin stood like statues. No words passed between them. Robert hesitated, searching for a sign, a crack in their resolve. There was only silence. He stepped past them into the chamber. The view screen shimmered with a live broadcast feed. The podium waited. Its surface gleamed under the same lights that had bathed his victory speech.
That speech feels like it belonged to another man. Perhaps it did.
He reached the podium and placed his hands on its cold edge. The galaxy waited. Robert began to read, his voice low but steady.
I stand before you not as a victor, but as an architect of failure. The council acted on what it believed was truth. But the truth we were shown was a lie.
His voice cracked on the word lie. The pause stretched.
I cannot even speak their language now. We bombarded. What we bombarded was not Earth. It was a construct.
He saw his own words reflected on the view screen behind him. A prison of his making.
40 years. We saw only what we wanted. I authorized.
The word hung unfinished. His hands tightened on the podium until his knuckles paled. The galaxy watched the speaker of the council fall apart in real time. The silence was absolute. After an eternity of stillness, Robert forced his hands to release the podium. He drew a slow, ragged breath and faced the camera.
I hereby resign as Speaker of the Council. My tenure ends now.
The words landed without weight. No one in the chamber moved. Not Cale, not Orin. A soft chime from his terminal broke the void. A priority notification blinked insistently. The Trellis Dominion formally apologized to humanity. The Velen Conclave issued a plea for reconciliation. The Ket Solar Compact expressed deep regret. All 3 founding species had already repented. The cycle of humiliation was complete. Robert's resignation was already a footnote. The galaxy had moved on before he even finished.
Even my abdication is not enough. They have taken everything.
Cale and Orin stared at the messages, then at each other, then looked away. There was nothing left to say. The council was over. The terrible silence stretched on, but it no longer belonged to them. The view screen hummed to life once more. This time, it was not Robert's face, but Ambassador Elena Vance.
We have noted the apologies of the founding species. The galaxy now sees the truth of your war. Earth will remain hidden, but we do not close our doors to those who approach with genuine peace.
As her image faded, workers removed the council's emblem from the building's exterior, a silent dismantling.
My life's work, gone in days.
He turned from the view screen and walked toward the exit. Cale and Orin stood frozen, unable to meet his eyes. The corridor stretched ahead, empty of the staff who once bowed. Only his footsteps answered the silence. Outside, the sky was indifferent. The city continued without him, a hum of distant traffic and muted crowds. The empty bracket where the emblem once hung seemed to stare after him, a lasting mark of absence. The camera lingered on the receding figure until the city swallowed him, and the screen went dark, far from the fallen council. The decoy planet still orbited the distant star that had once warmed the real Earth. Its surface was a charred ruin. Continents melted into glassy plains, Oceans boiled to vapor. But beneath the scarred crust, the hollow chambers were silent and empty. No life, no ghosts. This was the monument the council had built for themselves, a testament to their own blindness. They had destroyed a decoy, thinking it was their enemy, and broadcast their triumph to the galaxy. Now the shell drifted alone, a reminder that the greatest victories are sometimes the deepest shames. The camera pulled back further, revealing the empty star system where Earth had once been. No planet, no sun, only the distant stars, indifferent and eternal. Humanity had moved its cradle across the galaxy, leaving only this hollow echo, and the universe continued, unburdened by the Council's folly. In a modest station at the edge of Council space, Robert sat alone in a dim room. He wore civilian clothes now, the gold trim long discarded. The only light came from a small view screen, replaying his own voice from a lifetime ago. The recording showed his victory speech. Today, the human threat is extinguished. The words rang hollow.
I believed it. I truly believed it.
The playback skipped to his resignation, his voice breaking, his hands white on the podium. He watched his own humiliation in silence, expression unchanging. The screen went dark. Robert pressed a button, consigning the memories to the black. For a long moment, he simply sat in the dark. Then he looked toward the viewport, where the stars flickered. The stars held no answers, only the cold indifference of the void that had once been his domain. They watched Earth burn on screens. In the end, they had only burned their own legacy.